Hello class, this is Eric Besseril and this is MPA 510 History and Theory of Public Administration, and this is week 2 multimedia discussion. This week what I wanted to do was connect the 4 articles from Frederick Winslow Taylor, Henry Fayol, Max Weber, and Mary Parker Follett to the Housing and Community Development Department, and in particular how some of these topics adhere to the way community development departments are run in most cities. What I got from Frederick Winslow Taylor and his scientific management system was that we want to avoid as many issues and quarrels between the workers and the managers that are running the department. This makes sense in community development because we want to keep a strict rule on a lot of the regulations that are adhered to in community development, since most are laws that people such as the building inspectors would adhere to laws when they're inspecting a building, or zoning inspecting the way that buildings are designed. It's important that they adhere specific to these laws in order to avoid any issues between not only the employees but also the customers that they're working with. Frederick Winslow makes it so that the manager finds the best way possible, and by creating a streamlined process or a specific hierarchy, what that does is it leaves out a lot of these issues where there may be misinterpretation between middle, upper management and the employee that is adhering these laws. So the worker follows the order, and this order makes it so that it's practical and really hard to deviate from the main goal. Now, with Henry Fayol, what he did that I thought was very applicable to public administration and community development is that he was looking for less turnover and wanted more stability. This is really a common trait or a common goal for most cities. They want to see less turnover because what ends up happening is you get more consistent analysis and consistent determination and evaluation of laws and regulations. So what that does is it allows for customers to come in and get the same response, whether they come in 1 year or another year. They're not getting different turnover in upper management, which will eventually lead to changes in the way they interpret laws. So this I thought was very applicable in the fact that that's what we want to see in public administration at city levels and even higher levels in government. Now, Max Weber, he had created a way to think about bureaucratic systems and the importance of this. I think that with local government, bureaucratic systems do work. They may take longer, they may be more timely, but what we have is consistency in regulation. So we want to have these complex systems in government be systematic, because what happens is they don't deviate from the ultimate goal or the ultimate result. These rules of hierarchy are very important in a complex system, especially in local government, where we see city to city have different interpretations. Now, if we're able to get these complex systems to be regulated, in a consistent manner. What we're doing is we're working with this fast-paced way of thinking from city to city, and what that does is it's giving the people who are dealing with the cities, such as the customers, a better experience and a more consistent experience. So I actually really like Max Weber's way of thinking of a bureaucratic system. Um, and I think that efficiency is not so important, especially when we're talking about laws and regulations. I think it's more important to get a correct and accurate result. Lastly, Mary Parker Follett, I really enjoyed the fact that we have um, a person who gave us the value and importance of talking and getting feedback from the employees. This is very important because even though we may have a consistent way of doing these habits or these attitudes or these even regulations that we're doing in the public administration world, or specifically the community development department, it's the importance of getting managers to listen and get feedback from each employee is very key in growing the organization and creating a more efficient system. I think there needs to be a level of communication between the employee and the management team, but I think it needs to be done on a more consistent basis. I did like that she gave this idea of reciprocal relationships where it's a back and forth type of mental attitude. And I one of the things I liked was they mentioned about that understanding these employees definitely does not take the place of the training. So it's very important to still take some of what Mary Parker Follett had to say and adhere it to today's standards in community development. The importance of getting a little bit from each one of these articles, Frederick Winslow Taylor, Henry Fayol, Max Weber, and Mary Parker Follett, each one gives us a different viewpoint, a different aspect to the way that we construct a management team and how this management team communicates with its employees or its workforce. Each has its own dynamic, so we have to create an equal balance in this complex system where we're having different levels of management work within a city in order to build a safe city that still works with its people, with its visitors, and most importantly, that the staff knows the ultimate goal, but has a positive mental attitude when going to work. So it's a balance that we need to get a little bit from each one of these people that gave us these systems, and kind of create our own balance when we're working in a community or a city. Thank you, and I hope to get some of your feedback and listen to some of your presentations.